I feel like if there's something I could give you guys on this podcast, it's don't ever forget what it feels like to be a consumer.
Yep.
Right? Because if we all can put ourselves in a restaurant, we were just talking about this earlier.
Yep.
We all like our waiters and waitresses to be a certain way.
Like good service. We all like good service.
Okay, but good service is subjective, okay?
Yeah.
Now, that waiter or waitress should really be in tune with like what that is. Is someone by themselves? Are they looking for conversation? Are they by themselves but they're not looking for conversation? They're dove into their laptop? Are they with someone? And one of my bigger pet peeves is like when I'm with someone and I'm clearly having an engaging conversation and you don't say, excuse me, you don't say anything, you just obliviously walk up and start talking in the middle of a sentence where it's like, man, like you're just not, like your situational awareness is not very good. And you think you're doing a good job because you're asking me if I like my food or if I need anything versus the timing of when you should come up and ask. And what are the things you don't have to ask? If my Diet Coke is empty, could you just see that and bring one whether I asked for it or not? And if I didn't want it, I appreciated the fact that you didn't interrupt a conversation by doing something. And you're actually doing less or interacting less, but it's more.
Correct.
And I value what you're doing more because you're allowing me to have what I need to have with this lunch meeting with a very important person. Like, you got to really identify that. And I'm never rude to waiters and waitresses. I appreciate their efforts, but again, it happens in real estate. It happens in sales. It happens in business. Like when you're talking to your own consumers, are you so busy being a version of yourself you think you're supposed to be that you're not really identifying what that person is looking for? And that's where like you have to know. Perfect example, dude. You and I do this all the time. This is where, yes, having a partner does help. Eli and I will have meetings with people, whether it's like we've got some real estate brokerages that are joining our brokerage of like 45 people plus. So they're bigger meetings, they're dynamic. We're going over real P&Ls, where we can help you make money, where you can save money. We're talking real mergers and acquisitions, right? Sometimes I intentionally don't show up to a Zoom. Now, they don't think I'm ghosting because they don't think I'm supposed to show up or not supposed to show up.
Yep.
They just know we have a meeting, right? And there's some times where like, we let you run that meeting and I'm not even on it because I don't need to interject with anything. I want you guys to just get to some numbers. And then sometimes just two people on there can just be overwhelming. So there are cons that you have to worry about with partnerships. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. So if you're working by yourself, don't think that like you're somehow less fortunate. You're not. It's just different. So navigate it. But there's times where we're even doing that or where you're like, dude, I think a call from you would actually be great. Dude, we've got like agents that have been with us for years. We make a transition, and like they'll string you along for months or whatever. But you're like, dude, I just think they'd like to hear from you. So I call them and then like, hey, dude, homeboy filled out his app. He's here.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
And it's just like, what? It's like, sometimes just like having me there or whatever it may be. But like we're constantly, checking the temperature of a room, checking the temperature of a relationship and really just trying to adapt to like what they need. But like in sales and in relationships, like I'm not doing that to be a scammer. I'm doing it because you're important to me. Now, if you're important to me, that doesn't mean it's like the cliche thing of like, let's use relationships because we've all had terrible ones. It's like you love someone, I love you so much, and like I just want you happy. Okay. But if that person's not with you, you're losing your mind. And it's like, no, you want that person happy as long as it's with you.
Correct, on your terms.
It's like your client's important to you as long as they're just awesome with however you want to care for them versus you being more tentative in how the care should be displayed based off of what they value. It needs to be that, right? It's I think a lot of times like in real estate, agents get that backwards.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this is me, this is how I do my thing. And it's like, man, you could be rubbing people the wrong way. You could be missing their points or not hearing something the right way. And again, if they don't feel a certain way with you, it doesn't matter how right you're going to be. If they're just, they just don't have the right feeling about it, they're not going to be led by you. They're going to pick someone else. And if you're not emotionally intelligent enough to identify that, like we won a listing the other day, about a week ago, and client has her father there. Father was in real estate, 30 years ago?
Yes.
And as we're going through everything, he's just real reserved, and you can just tell, like, he's just trying to figure me out. And I'm fully aware of that, right? So, like, I made a point to speak to Dad. And that, and I can't remember like the exact question I asked him in the moment, but it was something of like, Dad, what are your thoughts? How can I help? Anything we can help address? And it opened the door for Dad to go, no, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something like, no, like I'm okay. I'm still just trying to figure you out.
I think that was exactly it. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, great. Like, anything I can help with or anything specific?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't think so. You just,
Yeah.
but you talk fast.
Yeah.
And
Well, and even called out, like, I think you gave him space to say something like that.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking term, give space, but that's what you did because you said, what is it? Is it the tattoos? But which opened the door.
But I didn't say it in a confrontational manner.
No, very friendly and
Very friendly,
Yeah.
and
but it
he's-
gave him permission essentially to say something.
And when you give people permission to do it, you better not be defensive.
Yeah, totally.
Don't be guarded. Really embrace it, and
100%.
almost like you're letting him critique you.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point, I'm okay if he critiques me.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to make sure he's comfortable with me helping his daughter sell her home, with us selling her home,
Yep,
right? So
yep.
it's like, my goal is to make sure that he knows that even though Will talks a little fast, or he's probably really good at what he does, but he listens and he'll take constructive criticism.
Totally.
That's the goal, because his goal is he wants to make sure that if he wants to add some advice or whatever it may be, being in real estate 30 years ago, that we're not just going to be these know-it-alls. And a lot of guys that come from the baby boomer generation, guys like me that talk a little faster, like are know-it-alls. Not all of them.
Or salesman,
Or
hard
sales,
pitch salesman.
and for sure. Now, some of us are just really good speakers and energetic, and we just like helping people. And we met this client through a friend of mine. And I also personally didn't think I was really talking that fast. I think my normal talk, though, if you haven't heard real estate talk in a while, it could feel fast. Like if your normal speed driving down the highway is 85 miles an hour, but grandma hasn't been in a car in 30 years, that's going to freak her the fuck out.
Yeah.
But again, what I'm getting at is his interpretation versus mine is subjective. What I think is normal might not be normal to him, and it doesn't matter. What matters is, I wanted that guy to be heard. And he's like, no, you just talk a little fast. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, man. I just, we're in this every day.
Yeah.
And I started talking slower. I said, we're in this every day. I do feel like we're great at what we do, but obviously, we want to make sure that we're incorporating everything that you guys would like to add. And we're also just here to just do a great job. We understand her circumstances. We know what's happened. I'm just excited that folks trust me to come help her. I said, so man, if I'm talking a little faster, I apologize. And then he instantly was like, oh no, you're fine.
Totally.
As in, hey, I didn't mention it as it was a problem. I'm just mentioning it because we're engaging. And it was really cool. And then you end up going back, and then the second meeting we had to go do the walkthrough of the declutter, whatever you guys want to call it. We don't call it that, but for sake of audience, that phase, we just let you go. And then you're like, yeah, he was no different. Dad was still being dad, but he was friendly to me and cool. But even just having you there versus both of us, I think just helps. You're putting a little water in the whiskey.
Totally. Yeah.
But again, it's guys, I'm not here to argue that guy. And look, I don't think the customer is always right, except for with how they feel. And even when with my spouse or with you and I, when we've butted heads, and we're really good at butting heads. We own our own shit. It's our wives. We put our wives to shame.
Yep.
We should be married, But the one rule I've kind of always had as I've grown through police work, and this is why I really learned it in police work. I'm not a bad guy. I was a police officer in the community I grew up in. I care about all races, all sexes. I just care about my city. I'm a good guy, right? And I have no idea someone else's experience with police, with community, with what they've been fed as a kid, all the way into their 30s, that has made them scared and react to police a certain way. Then their reaction toward police led to a reaction of police that caused something. I don't know. It's really apparent in police work how nervous and certain things, even if it's not directly related to a police officer, but just something that's going on.
Yeah.
Right? And what I really started to understand, and I don't think anybody really told me, I just started kind of understanding it. You cannot tell somebody how they feel.
Yep.
And if someone is telling you how they feel, you better not tell them, no, you're not. Or no, I'm not.
Right, right.
You better not.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not, so like when he was feeling a certain way, it's not about me telling him, I'm not talking fast. Like, it's not about any of that. What it's about is like, hey, like you're giving me something. How well can I take care of that to make you feel heard? So then whatever you are feeling, we can, through time, dissolve that. If people are scared or like nervous of police, just because you as a cop know you're not a threat showing up, knowing you know that person doesn't have a warrant, knowing that you know you're not going to arrest that person, you can't be like, dude, cops aren't bad. I'm not going to harm you. Calm down. You don't, you don't feel that. No, you don't. Because I haven't even done anything to make you feel that way. You don't feel that way. Listen, man, if there's ever like the wrongest thing you could do verbally in any like communication thing, like mine is going physical with people. If there's ever like the wrongest thing verbally, it's that.
Yeah. Oh, agree.
It's that. So like personally, if your spouse tells you you're making, I feel scared, I feel nervous, just do yourself a favor and just shut up. If you're about to say like, no, you don't. Like I'm home on time. I never go out with my friends. Like I don't do anything to make you feel that way.
Yep.
Maybe so. But for whatever reason, they feel that way. Now, if you think they're not being honest, okay, you still don't handle it that way.
Yep.
You need to just be as less combative as you possibly can, and then just start asking questions that allow them to speak to that. And if they're telling the truth, it's going to help. And if they're not, and you can see that they're searching for some things and they can't find an answer, you can then offer some answers of, how about this? How about that? And if it's like, Will, I've done all of that, it just doesn't work. Okay, then potentially you're just not in the right relationship either.
Yes.
And that's a whole different conversation.
Or in the right job, or in the right.
But I'm just telling you, man, like if you think like someone is just off put by you or not comfortable with you, and it's like you're just such an amazing listing agent that like, well, look, if they're just uncomfortable, and we know some agents like that. We've had agents be so that they have physically touched me to shush me, right?
Yes,
because they know so much.
Yes.
And they did that in front of my wife. Like, talk about being emotionally detached to like just being respectful or just being such a no that you think that's appropriate.
Not reading the room.
You know, but like you can be that person and think like, well, if that's what they think, that's on them. On to the next, it's like, okay. But I just question like, are you cognizant at all about who you're becoming along the way of trying to achieve this thing? I want to be a top producer. I want to be a whatever. Okay. All right, cool. But like along the way, like who you're becoming, like, are you paying any attention to who you are along the way of what you want to be?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
I'm almost more aware of who I am, making sure that like who I am doesn't get sacrificed for what I want to be.